The night before Vladislav Przystyashnyuk moved from Toronto to Vancouver, he only slept 2 hours. So by the time he boarded his plane, he had a pretty bad headache.
I asked the flight attendant for aspirin.
He says the flight attendant began to ask him questions.
Do you have a fever? I'm like, I'm not sure because I'm not a doctor, but I didn't have it in the morning. So the next thing that I know is that she asking me if I've been to Asia or if I've been in contact with someone who is sick. I said no to all of those questions.
Przystyashnyuk says he was then asked to get off the plane and told he couldn't fly for 48 hours because he might have coronavirus.
And I was like, I'm not gonna take it that easy. So I just took Uber, went straight to the hospital, got the doctor's note.
Back at the airport, he boarded another flight, setting his trip to Vancouver back by 4 hours. WestJet says safety is its top priority, adding its crew contacted MedLink, a service that connects airlines with a physician by phone to determine whether a passenger is fit to fly. In a statement, it said, "Out of an abundance of caution, our crew followed protocol as recommended." But not everyone agrees.
This was a completely unreasonable action on the part of the airline. This is not a case where we can justify the airline's actions by erring on the side of safety. There was no issue here. This passenger was perfectly healthy.
Lukács is an expert in air passenger rights. He says if a passenger is ill, they shouldn't fly, but that decision should be made by a doctor in person.
If a doctor had been there on the spot, they would have been able to check the passenger's pulse, the passenger's temperature if necessary, and they would have verified that the passenger is perfectly healthy, just has a headache.
Lukács believes WestJet owes Przystyashnyuk compensation for his wasted time. Still, WestJet says it's important to self-identify if you have an illness. The only problem this time was that Przystyashnyuk was never sick in the first place, so his small headache became a much bigger one. Joel Ballard, CBC News, Vancouver.